There were 42 famous questions that was raised across the country at that time. Issues relating to how wealth will be shared, issues relating to fiscal federalism, issues relating to how the Nigerian states are going to be created, and a whole lot of that. And when you say that we have a perfect constitution, it brings to mind that perhaps we're not together in this nation, Senator Naala, if considering some of the things that have been on the ground.
No. It is different for you to misinterpret what the framework of the Constitution is and what exactly the Constitution stands for. When I hear people talk of physical federalism, when I hear them talking about true federalism, I will tell them there is nothing like that in constitutionalism. What we have is a constitution that is intended to be operated in a multicultural, multilingual society. And though it is federal in nature, it is distinct from that federal constitution that is going to be operated in a homogeneous society. And therefore, you begin to hear people who are not versed in constitutionalism trying to create certain expressions that sounds rhapsodic to me about physical federalism and true federalism. The entire basis for a federal constitution is to admit the fact that in as much as people want to be together in one thing, they equally want to remain separate in another issue. And that's why we have the federal that bring all of us together as a country. Then we have the states that give us some leverage to take the peculiarities of where we are and then operate our system.
Right.
And even within the component states, we have local governments. And that is what the federal constitution intended to address. And that is why those structures of governance were created.
Senator Naala, if I may ask you, how much will these 8th Assembly be spending on this renewed efforts at amending the Constitution?
I honestly don't know, because the committee has just been inaugurated. I know the committee has to meet and look at the scope of work that it's supposed to do and then file what the expenses they think will be incurred in meeting that demand. And then it's approved by the body of principal officers in a joint sitting. Right. So I cannot precisely tell you how much is going to be spent, but I know that in the inauguration of the committee, the Senate President clearly stated that we do not have to go all the hog in trying to amend this constitution. There was already a process in place that have made certain recommendations. So those recommendations are what he expects, and the National Assembly expects the new committee will look at and then attend to it as quickly as possible.
Senator Naala, if you say that we have a perfect constitution, no matter how much is going to be spent, we're going to be spending taxpayers' money. Do you think it's necessary at this time to go ahead with any constitutional amendment?
Let me tell you, that is based on your own interpretation of what a perfect constitution is. But I'm telling you, in constitutionalism, what we have, and taking the peculiarities of the country in which it is operated, it is a perfect constitution. It has given everyone sense of belonging by the structure that it has built, either at local government level or at state level or at federal level. Don't forget that there were certain provisions in that constitution that equally gone far ahead to make sure that it has met the requirements of operating in a multicultural, multilingual society. We have the federal character. We have so many institutions that are being built. Government itself has been enjoying that in constituting the government, federal character should be taken into account. I had Chief Ayo Adebanjo the last time complaining about local governments. And I think he didn't understand what the framers of our constitution considered in creating those local governments. It's not about state alone. It's not, you know, the structure took into account the population, landmass, so many things were taken into account. And what was intended was to create an egalitarian society where there is some level of equality so that the country can move on equal terms. The fact that some people decided not to use the constitution as it's supposed to be, it's a different matter altogether.
Senator Nahala, before I allow you go, you are a major backer of the social media bill that is in the process at the National Assembly. And you are one of those proposing 2-year jail term for abusers on the social media's platform. You are one of those who are thinking that that particular bill should be infused into the Nigerian law. A lot of people have criticized that particular, saying that it is anti-people. And for a party like the APC, a lot of people think that thrived and came to power through the popularity of a vote of Nigerians, and even rode on the use of the social media to get into power. It's surprising for some Nigerians to think that someone like you, Senator Nahala, is now backing such a thing. Is it actually morally right for you to do so?
Well, first, let me tell you that you are wrong to say that there is a bill in the National Assembly, particularly in the Senate, the one I have sponsored, that is called a social media bill. That arose from misinformation. Like I have said, and I keep on saying, in view of the provision of Section 24 of the Cybercrime Act, the National Assembly has no business whatsoever doing a bill that is called the social media bill. That Section 24, if you read it, provided for 7 years imprisonment for anybody who even annoys somebody by posting something on social media. What we have before the National Assembly and before the Senate, which I sponsored, is frivolous petition prohibition bill. And I still believe, and I have maintained that position, that this country at this level of our history needs that bill seriously, if we must be taken serious as a very serious nation. And this is not new in other jurisdictions. And then when you talk about a lot of people have criticized it, I laugh again. Look, always take into account those who are coming to say something about anything. Take the entire country into consideration. We are 180 million Nigerians. Are you now telling me that more than half of us are against that bill? Don't forget that democracy is a recurrent suspicion whereby more than half the people are right more than half the time. Do you have any parameter to show me that more than half Nigerians are against that bill? Let us begin to think like a very serious nation, you know?
All right, a lot of people will...
You think
a lot of Nigerians...
If Senator Nahala knows that by the mere experience of carrying placard to protest against any decision of government, I can be heard and I can speak on behalf of the people, you think I have no business to go through an election? I have a business to go through an election?
Senator Nahala, if anybody will be serious with a representative of its own people... Just a moment. If anybody is going to take seriously any representative of theirs representing them at a place such as the Senate on this kind of issue that has generated a lot of outcry from the public, one needs to be cautious, isn't it, about some of these things that may generate a lot of public outcry. Isn't it because of the people that you are there in the first place?
No, I don't think that is the position, please. I am old enough to understand. You see, people can say anything. As a leader, you must, as a leader, know that you have a responsibility to tell people the truth. I don't want to be a populist leader. I want to be a leader who is doing the right thing.
All right, thank you. So
where is the voter in Ogomosho, or the voter in my village, or the voter in Yola saying about the bill?
Thank you so much, Senator Ibn Nahala. Many thanks for sharing your thoughts on these issues.
More than 80% of those who protested against the bill didn't even read it before protesting.
All right, thank you.
Is that a way to go about doing things? Please, I'm not that kind of leader, please. I think I have a responsibility to tell Nigerians the truth, to do what I feel is right, and my happiness is that that bill passed through second reading when the senators were properly constituted in the Senate chamber, and each and every one of them is representing a section of this country.
All right. We must leave it at that. Many thanks for coming on the program. Senator Ibn Nahala is the Deputy Majority Leader at the Nigerian Senate. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the confab and, of course, the Constitution Amendment. Well, we'll take a moment, and when we return, my next guest is someone you will love to listen to. He told me right here in this very studio sat beside me to say that his party was going to beat the APC blue-black. Where does that leave us now? We look at some of the history in our politics, the leadership of the PDP, and of course, reactions trailing the Supreme Court judgment. Join us again.